You believe in God. You understand? So
But
that is the ultimate
but they
thing
do
of
have
heliocentrism.
but they do have ancient maps before from the old world of
And
the
what
Earth
what
being
is
flat
it
and
that we
hollow.
used to know back then?
Right. I mean, they
Everybody
do have.
else knew back then that the earth was flat.
But then they came out. They
Everybody
came.
else knew back then that the earth was flat.
But
So
then they came
all of
out that
this
they was wrong.
fucking hoopla
But
that
then
they're
they
trying
said
to
it was
come
all
with,
wrong.
it's null and void. People are fighting for something and they don't really know what it is that they're fighting for.
All right, let me play
Oh
this.
no, they're so quick to call out people like me that it's like, oh no, you think that earth is flat. Oh my God, why? And it's like, no. Even my kids. I'm not an affliction with kids because it's like, oh no, they've been indoctrinated to
Let me
this. But I'm going to
play
be
this message.
ultimately the person that assesses the situation from a knowledgeable standpoint.
But what I want to do is give you ways that you can prove the Earth is curved yourself and not rely on NASA. Because obviously, the easy thing to do would just be say, like, oh, go Google NASA International Space Station photos, right? And that to most of us, I guess you'd call us round earthers, that would be convincing. But for whatever reason, and I'm not here to judge, you don't find that evidence convincing or the source convincing. You think it's just the government has an agenda there. And so what I want to do is actually give you experiments that you can do yourself to prove to yourself through kind of like both these experiments and logic that the Earth is curved.
No. You see what it is that he's talking about? You see what it is that he's talking about? It don't make no living mind, no never sense to me because that's not what it is that I have experienced within my own life. So you are not going to sit up here and profess to me that as though the earth is round and that people in fucking Australia, okay, when people go on a high balloon excavation, that they are floating, but they are floating down in the earth and they are just experiencing things of gravity. Because in history, you have been taught some white man all of a sudden sat up under a tree, okay, and came to the conclusion of this theory of gravity. This is what it is like like I said, when you want to sit up here and you want to talk about the thing of flat earth, there are a lot of other things that are encompassed that perpetuate this narrative. Okay? Like I said, when you want to speak about these things, it is the perpetuation of insignificance. It is the perpetuation of like I said, heliocentrism, okay, that people suffer from. And you want to sit up there and you want to have this conversation. Let's have it in all facets. Don't sit up here and you want to sit up there and you want to express to me your ideas of a globe earth, but you are not willing to recognize or address the idea of heliocentrism because that was ultimately a thing that had to be involved with religion. And I was brought up in the sense of Catholicism, believing in Jesus, white Jesus. Like come on, let's call a spade a spade. We are not like, and I'm just not. I'm not gonna speak for anyone else, but I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna be identified and solidified to one person's idea of thinking in no way, shape, or form. So when you say those things, that there has to be a lot more information that comes behind that. as to why it is you believe the things that it is that you believe. And if you're gonna say that, okay, the information that I'm divulging, the information that I am receiving is not the information of a person that has been known to be a Freemason, that is not coming from a person that has been involved in the deceptiveness. There is nothing like that. So I don't even really know what your name is. I don't even really know what the fuck his name
Let me play
is.
the rest. Let's play the
No,
rest
no,
of these
no.
messages.
We got four things. Go ahead, play them.
Okay, so here's another one. If you ever notice a lunar eclipse, which is where essentially the Earth is in between the sun and the moon, you'll see kind of like a shadow on the moon if you have like a telescope. And that actually is essentially just Earth's giant shadow. And the fact that it's spherical,
You don't
once
know that
again,
it's
points to the
Earth's
fact that the
shadow.
Earth
You don't
is
know.
round.
And answering his question, he doesn't know that it's Earth's shadow. He only knows that behind of what somebody else told him. So, and the same time, like I said, and he can say here and like conflict my ideas. But at the same time, like, oh, say, no, you don't really know that it's like that. But in the same sense, that, like I said, what he's saying is also deemed as a theory. So what I'm saying is also deemed as a theory. So how is it that your beliefs and your rectifications can be identified as something as fact? I believe, like, now, if you ever took your time and looked at a flat earth globe and a flat earth model, earth is a realm. The sun and the moon reside and define themselves um as a thing. Like, it's almost like a clock. It's almost like a thing of like what's on your watch. They revolve around themselves as a perfect being, just as God has explained it. And this is what people have known for years. Like I said, so if you are willing to come at me with this information, then you have to absolutely conflict me with fucking facts. What you're not conflicting me with is fucking facts. It's a theory. And the white fucking people that you are identifying yourself with is like, oh, these people are perpetuating the truth. They are Freemasons. They have a higher being. They have a higher sense of self, of the message that they are trying to perpetuate to us as individuals, trying to envelop that idea of insignificance to a person. It's not happening. It's not happening in no way, shape, or form. I'm sorry. Say what
Also,
it is you want
once
to say.
again, you commented on the vantage point from climbing up a tree. Listen, we can agree to disagree on that one. Like, I think if I had a visual medium to show you, it would make more sense. But once again, there's the example of the ships going off of the horizon. They don't just fall off. Once they get to your horizon line, if you have a direct view of the ocean and ships going out to sea, you'll see they gently go down, and that's and go out of sight. And once again, that's kind of like because they're going under the horizon line because the Earth is curved.
No, they're falling out of viewpoint. We're people. We only have an ability to see throughout and through in what it is that we can see. And this is what it is that brings me to the realization is that, and I'm not saying like anything towards you as an individual, but like I said, I feel like this is ultimately something that has been perpetuated within white culture, that you guys feel as though you guys have cracked the code. You know this and this and that. You figured it out. No, there is nothing that you have figured out. Okay? The same thing, like I said. And now, if you want to talk about this, let's talk about Columbus. We are not doing this, okay? We are not doing this in any way, shape, or the form. You guys were not the originators. The same way, like, that's the kind of energy that I feel like you're giving me when you're trying to, like the opinions that you're giving me, okay? And there's no disrespect. Like, if you want to sit up there and you want to have, an educated form of this talk, like I said, you're coming from the narrative of, it's like, oh no, this is what it is that they have told me. I ultimately believe that there are things that have been established, that have been perpetuated, that cannot be, divulged within conversation, things that cannot be completely understood by humans. Okay, so the things that it is that what it is that you're saying, I get it in a grander scheme of things, but it is not like when you want to have a conversation and you want to oppose someone's belief, you have to really ultimately combat them from all facets of narration, of information. So it's like when you want to come at me, absolutely, like, yes, you can have these opinions, but it's not gonna be within the force of like according, like your source of information definitely has to come out of a different source of information, because what it is that you're saying does not relegate and does not identify with a lot of the things that has been known and that has been perpetuated through life and just general knowledge until thus far.
For reference, I'm an Orthodox Christian from the
And once again, for what it's worth, I mean, obviously we don't know each other. You have no reason to trust me. So there's, for all I could be a government shill. But once again, I have directly flown. I guess technically not all on the same leg, right? Like I've obviously had stops along the way, but I've flown in one direction and have gone around the world in one trip. So for what it's worth, I've directly experienced the Earth being curved by just going in one direction and coming back from where I started.
Okay, so when you were traveling around the world, as what it is that you say, like I said, now, if what it is ultimately what I'm trying to have you identify yourself with is that NASA is basically trying to perpetuate Earth's demographic or like thing of, it is based on that we are a globe. I find it very hard that and like you said, you have expressed within yourself that you have traveled all around the globe, and completely within yourself that Earth is a globe. So like I'm like I said, I'm not trying to take away from your experiences, but have you witnessed when you were on a plane, were you a witness of yourself traveling along the side of a ball. Look, I'm gonna play these things because we got 4 of them. Okay.
A few things. You say I'm conflicting your ideas, and it seems that perhaps you're getting upset. And I hope I'm not making you upset. I'm not trying to call you like dumb or insult you in any way. I'm just trying to explain, how best to investigate and kind of come to the conclusion that, really the Earth is in fact round. Something else to consider, another evidence point is actually seasons in the fact that we have seasons. That's actually only possible because the Earth is round. It happens because the Earth, the Earth is a sphere and it tilts away or towards the sun based off of where you are in the Earth, obviously. And that's why, where you are gets respectively warmer or colder in seasons. If the Earth was flat, that wouldn't happen. The weather would just be constant where you are.
Absolutely not. To answer what it is that he's saying, no, I don't believe. I believe the sun revolves around the Earth. I don't believe the sun is 93 million miles away, as what it is that NASA professed to us. I believe the sun is small and local. I believe that the sun moves through and throughout. So if you want to put like our Earth, on a big flat plate, and if you can imagine what it is that I'm saying, it moves through in and throughout. So it will move closer to certain places within the Earth, and it will move farther throughout. So now what it is that we are in, coming into our winter times, the sun is moving way out, which provides the realm of colder weather for us. And it is what it is, my love. Like, I'm not here to combat you. These are only my beliefs. It's not a thing for us to have, like I said, like a discrepancy or a certain bias. Your beliefs are your beliefs. My beliefs are absolutely my beliefs. It doesn't have to come into a place of disrespectfulness or anything like that. And I love the conversation that we're having right now. But if you are going to have these conversations, we definitely need to have them from an educated standpoint. The things that what it is that you're saying to me, I can completely identify and solidify myself with your beliefs, but in the same sense, I also have to recognize the situation that is ultimately relevant to my reality, not what it is that I'm not going on what it is that is being said. I'm really going on by my reality and what it is that I experience on a daily basis. It would be very difficult to say, okay, you and I are going to a winter month, or going through a winter month, or a winter season, and saying that all of these other people are witnessing some type of other weather. I believe that happens only because the sun is moving in and throughout, the different spectrums of different countries or different continents, that it's led to be, known or as afflicted as that way.
Let's get messages. They building up.
No, wait. We got 8 messages. We gotta do it, Kilo. I'ma just
So actually continuing on, or to respond to what you said about the ships, just going out of viewpoint. Yes, you're right. We obviously, as humans, have limited eyesight. But if you actually looked at these ships with telescopes, they would still go out of view, kind of like going below the horizon line. It's not just a matter of just being able to have this unobstructed or, like more powerful eyes, for example. Even with the most powerful telescope, you would still see these ships gently go below the horizon line and duck out of view. And once again, that's because the Earth is spherical and curved.
No, it's not because it's spherical. It's because that is only the vantage point. And what it is that I draw this back to is God. God is only going to allow you so much. There is not much that you need to understand. Everything, like I said, like you want to take it back to shit. The white man, and I'm not saying that you're a white man, but at the end, white men, they feel like they want to have a grasp. I know this. I know the fuck you don't. No, the fuck you don't. And we are only gonna see, and even like you say, oh God, we have telescopes. We can only see as far as the telescopes allow us to see. That's only unto the vantage point of humans. We are not God. We are not God. We can't see into the infinity of fucking Earth. You want to say, oh, I'm going to sit up here and look up to the vantage point of fucking China. Well, you know what? China has enveloped so much fucking pollution, we can't even see to fucking China. Because China is sitting up there, they fucking dirty, they fucking sitting up there, and that's exactly why. And don't get me wrong.
Let's
Fucking
get into
China had the Wuhan. Okay.
Let's take some of these messages first before we get off topic.
All right. No,
if it's flat, explain mountains. If it's hollow, explain the deep blue sea.
I love that. Yes. No, I'm with it. Go ahead, Kilo. Go ahead, ring them up.
But that's the beautiful thing about what I'm saying. These are things where you don't have to rely on other people. You can go and just observe these things by yourself. Just because I don't have to, the goal here isn't to convince you like, oh, NASA is great or I'm great. These are just things you can go out and observe. And that's why,
Absolutely.
And that's, my ultimate goal is I want to empower you to kind of like make these observations yourself.
Absolutely,
and not be at the mercy of any one source of information, just to be able to kind of like do these experiments on your own.
Brock? Yeah, no, what it is.
And how do you explain spaceships?
The globe Earth theory. But in a lot of senses, like I said, you take yourself outside yourself, really assess what it is. And this is what it is that I'm saying, is that God has given us all the know-how. It is what it is that you choose to be influenced by. So the things that it is that he's saying, I get it. I get it in so many senses of the way. Like, I get it. But in the same sense of the way is that the same things that he's saying are only a theory. They have not been proven to be fact, because now in the flat earth theory, okay, the sun revolves around us. So the theories that he's proclaiming as to why, like we're sitting here on Earth and humans choose to perpetuate this idea or this experiment, as like this solidifies the idea of no, absolutely not. You're not here. You understand? Like you were not the inventor, so you do not have the conclusion. Okay? And like I said, this ultimately brings me back to God. It brings me
Okay,
back
let's
to
say
God. Because ultimately, what it is that you're trying to tell me is that you know better than God. You
let's
don't
play the
know
rest of
better
these
than God.
messages.
I
Absolutely
truly
not.
want to believe you. Like I don't know, honestly, because I've never been to
It's
outer space and
thing
I've
on
never been
the
high
earth.
enough to see that it is flat or if
This
it's
is
round.
not a thing.
But to me, it just makes more sense for it to be round. You know,
Round. Wow.
in the way that they've
Why?
actually
Because
taught
you
us.
see all the planets out there round, so you believe that as though they are round.
I guess let me
You
ask you
don't
this.
believe that
What,
one
if
single
true,
being is
would
the center,
convince you
is the center
that
of the earth.
the earth is spherical? Like, is there anything that I could say, if true, would that you would be convincing for you? Because I feel like, I can obviously go through example after example of things that I find convincing for anyone curious, for why the Earth is spherical. But I kind of want to know, kind of meet you on your plane of logic, so that I can be like, okay, this would be something that we can talk about, that that you would potentially find convincing.
Yeah. No, but I agree with that. Like let's Kilo, if you want to play the rest of the messages, we could play them.
Yeah, we're gonna play the
Right?
rest of the messages. Thanks
No,
for the
it's a
clap.
very interesting conversation.
Thanks
I'm
everybody for
gonna
tuning
stop
in.
you. Wait. No, I'm gonna stop you because just to answer the last two comments. Um like I said, I'm not a person here to convert anyone. When I came to like questioning, okay, the idea and the thought, okay, of like flat earth, it really divulged, and it came from my idea, and I was just honestly researching 9/11. Okay, you want to talk about 9/11? I was there on 9/11. I was
Okay,
there.
let's hold that thought for a minute. Let's get these messages out the way.
You're
Yeah.
kind of
Go ahead.
using a lot of large words and using a large vocabulary, but not really saying anything. You're kind
Yes.
of talking in circles. You
Yes.
keep talking about your reality and talking about how this is your existence and your reality, and it's not. You're not actually conveying any information, though.
No, I'm not conveying. I don't know who the fuck he's talking about, but
I
I've
think
been
she was
conveying
saying
a
read
lot
the
of fucking
book. What's the
information.
book? What's the book? What's the book that he should read? What's the book that she was
William
talking about?
Cooper. William
Yeah, read
Cooper.
the book. Read the book,
It
William
is
Cooper.
behold a pale white horse. And if there's any kind of information, if you guys want to ever reference to, I'm gonna tell you a big source of my information. If anybody wants to reference to my ideas or my way of like why it is I think the way it is that I am, um refer to, and like I say, everybody like wants to kind of rectify but also dismiss the idea of YouTube. But a big part of what it is that I believe, why it is that I believe, is a channel, and it's called UB, like the letters UB News, NEWZ. And this man is definitely, he has encompassed the thing of like I said, of unbiased information. It is not a thing of like where it is like, you have to kind of like decide or decipher. It just basically is what it is that it is. How anyone else's, like their view, they choose to criticize me on my views. You definitely have to take it within yourselves to kind of identify yourselves
Right?
within the
It's just
belief
about
that it is that
theories.
you guys believe what it is that you believe.
It's just a belief, just like Jesus,
Absolutely.
just like Muslim. I mean, all
Like
of it
I
is just
said, and
belief.
it's a very big thing is like, don't come at me with just unsolidified shit. Like, you have to come at me, dot your I's, cross your T's, because there's a lot of information that needs to be held beyond that. So if you, like I said, you want to have a conversation, we can have a conversation. I'm not opposed to that, but it definitely has to be an educated, um, conversation, because it's not just going to be behind this coonery and buffoonery. We're not doing that. You know, like I said, you want to speak about that? Let's talk about the out of Africa theory. You
Well, it's a
know,
lot of theories out there. You ever heard of the silicone theory?
excuse me.
You ever heard of the silicone theory?
No, well, let's talk about it. You know something about that? I may not have heard nothing about
Well,
that,
we got we
but
got we
Kilo,
got we got
well,
13, we
no,
got
we
13.
we got no, no, no. I want to hear about your theory, but what I'm saying is right now we have accumulated 13 comments. So if you
Right.
want to go ahead, play
Okay,
them,
I'm about to
and
play.
I
What
just
does it
want to,
mean to
yeah.
be known to be as afflicted in that way? What does that mean?
I don't even know what the fuck he said, but okay, play the next one.
You're saying that your faith with God is making you certain that the world is flat. Isn't
Okay.
that kind of the exact same thing that you're saying we're doing with our certainty that the world is round? How is that
No,
not the
because
exact same
your
thing?
idea of the earth of being round was ultimately enveloped by man, far beyond than the earth being flat was enveloped by man. And the earth, the theory of earth of being flat definitely had uh uh a thing of religion behind it. So we can all rectify and identify ourselves with the thing of religion comes with control. Okay? So that's what it is I'm saying to you. So go ahead and play the next one.
There's absolutely things that we still don't understand in this earth, and I'm not trying to take away that there's the existence of a higher power or God, but that doesn't preclude the the potential presence of a round spherical Earth. I think the Earth would be just as majestic and potentially mysterious, like with it being round as opposed to being flat. So, I mean, there's no reason that a round Earth is inconsistent with a higher power.
No, but Earth is to answer that. Earth is a realm. It's not a planet. Just because we see spherical objects within our solar system, or that is what it is that NASA proclaims that what it is that's what it is, doesn't necessarily identify or solidify their theories as well, because they are also man. So go ahead and play that next clip.
Right, because even the solar system is a flat disk.
I
Hmm.
believe that the Earth is flat with a dome shape.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Just because I like to be controversial. But I mean,
All right.
hey,
It is
if you've
what it
listened to the
is.
theories,
It is what it
if
is.
you've listened to both sides, flat Earth and round Earth theory, they both make some pretty good points. But I'm on the flat Earth side.
No, I didn't really hear him. Oh,
He was he
100%.
was he was saying, he was saying that y'all both make some good points, but
Yeah,
what I
no, and
agree.
I get it. Like I said, I'm not trying to create a thing of like a bias where it's like we are having a conflicting conversation. What it is like the same way that like people are coming to my ideas like with opposing, opinions. They also like, if you're gonna come to like with to me with your ideas of an opposing idea, then you definitely could say within yourself, you have definitely investigated, you have come to your conclusion through and wholeheartedly that regardless of what it is that you have researched within yourself, that you have ultimately come to this conclusion regardless of the information that you have wholeheartedly researched. So that is my only confliction. Like, don't come at me and don't try to come at me for my name just because I chose what it is. And I get it. Like, me putting my name as what it is that I chose it to be. But in the same sense of things, like, if you're gonna come to me, you definitely have to come to me with information. You have to come to me with validity, within information, because I mean, up until that point there is no conversation that needs to be had. So go ahead, go play the next, voice note.
Black Power. I mean, what evidence do you have that people have actually gone into outer space? I
There's
mean,
none.
I believe that they faked the moon landing. What else could they fake?
They absolutely,
You never know
absolutely,
unless you were actually
absolutely,
there. Just throwing that out there.
absolutely.
Well,
And
well,
I'm not
Elon
trying to
Musk
be
about to go out of
biased,
space.
but it is. The people that question the narrative are the people who are threatened, you know? And when you speak about these things, like, I'm so glad that I came into a conversation with you, because it's like you're like, even though you may not be completely 100% on the side of what it is that I believe in, you're willing to hear the narrative and you're willing to hear that opposition.
Well,
So that
it's hard to believe.
definitely,
It's hard to really believe because like this Earth
it's
is.
not a thing of belief. It's really not a thing of belief at this point. It's a thing of, like I said, to me, it ultimately deciphers whether an individual can allow themselves to think for themselves. It's not a thing of like belief, or confiding or identifying yourself with a certain narrative, or someone else's beliefs.
But if
It's
even if
more
you think
so
for
about the
yourself,
idea of thinking for yourself.
you really can't. The Earth is tricky. It makes you think that you go outside and you start walking. It makes you think that it's flat.
Yeah. But you know what? In a lot of senses, like I said, you want to talk about it like years ago. Everybody thought that the earth was flat. Hindu, Buddhist, everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We're talking about
they
religions that were far beyond the accumulation of Catholicism, or Christianity. These were
yeah, the
thoughts
ancients,
that were
the
completely
ancient
enveloped.
Egyptians, they have they
Way
have they have the discs. They have the discs on the walls and stuff. Like they thought everything is a disc. Like, so, I mean, they thought it was a disc. So they said the sun is a disc. So, like
Yeah,
I said,
no, they thought all that, and that's okay.
How are we supposed to take you seriously when you're using a word like accountances when that's not even a word?
Yeah.
We're supposed to be listening to you, but you're making stuff up on the fly.
Who the fuck is said? Who said what he said? What he
who the
said?
one of the words you were saying about you were saying something about accountants, something you were saying about accounting or something.
What he said? You tell me
No, he,
what the fuck he said, because I'm not with the bullshit. You understand me? I'm not with the bullshit. I'm not with no fucking coonery, buffoonery. You not about to hear, like, you not about to come here with your fucking white tears and inflict your bullshit. Cause like I got a lot. You want to talk about it? We got a lot of shit to talk about with the fucking the mountains of Caucasia. So we can talk about that. Cause them niggas, they sit up there and they wanted to rule and conquer the whole earth and think that this shit is theirs. So we not about to get up in the feet into the ideas of fucking white tears. we not about to inflict ourselves with that. You and I can have our own conversation, and I can identify myself with that, and I can accept that. But what we are not about to do is identify ourselves with the coonery and the buffoonery, and identifying ourselves with the infliction of fucking white tears. Okay?
Yeah,
Because a lot of the fucking Jews that think they Jews, they ain't Jews. And that's what I'm gonna leave it on. Okay? We're
A
not doing
theory
that.
in science
Okay?
means it
You're
has to
not the
be able to
motherfucking
be
original
proven and
people
reproduced
from
in a
fucking the
lab
Middle
setting.
East.
So
That is
scientific theory
exactly why
is like
the fucking
gravity,
people of
which can be
Israel are
reproduced
trying
and
to
proven
eradicate
in
the
a
fucking
laboratory
existence
setting. A
of fucking
hypothesis, on the other
people
hand,
in
cannot be,
Syria.
is more like an
Okay?
educated guess. It's not something that is
I'm
proven yet
the
and
shit.
is something
Don't
that's still being
hello?
tested.
Hello, Kilo.
yeah,
Kilo. Do not
yeah.
play another motherfucking voice note. What I'm saying, in regards to that young man's his comment, we're not doing that, okay? Because the fucking Jews have inflicted a whole bunch of shit, okay? To people in humanity, okay? In the grander scheme of things, we are not doing that, okay? And they feel as though they have been allowed so much reparations and they are entitled to things
Yeah, I know what you're
as
saying, but let's keep it
such.
to the flat Earth. Let's keep it to the flat Earth theory. I know what you're saying, but
No, but
we can
like no, but
we can
like I
have
said,
another
I'm not here
another
for
talk
no
about that.
fucking grand prize. You want to talk
Yeah,
about it? Let's talk about
we can
it.
have another
The
talk about
fucking
that.
Jews, y'all niggas ain't even supposed to be here. Like you identify yourself, like I said, you want to sit up there and talk about the Jews. European Jews are not the original Jewish people that they spoke of within the Bible. Okay?
No,
You
that's
are not.
it's a whole nother topic right there. Let's stick with this right here.
Absolutely not.
Hey, Black Power, you know there was a time when they were
I
saying that
mean,
the
and
Earth
it's
was
nothing,
flat,
like I
right?
said, I'm not even
There was
really
once a
trying to
time when they were saying that the
identify
Earth was flat,
myself
and I
or
believe it was,
solidify myself
whoa,
with
what
the
was his
thought
name, the
of black
scientist
power.
that was
What
saying that
what
the
you're
Earth was,
trying to do is pump fake,
they were saying that
because
the
you
Earth was
know
flat.
what
I'm
it is
sorry, they
that
were
I'm
saying that the Earth was
speaking of
flat,
is very a
and there was a
detrimental
scientist who said the Earth
thing
was
that
round,
people are
and
going
he was
to
actually put on house arrest for the rest of his life for saying that the Earth was round. And then I guess
what?
at some point they changed their mind. It was like, hey, you know, the Earth is not flat; it's round. It's weird. What was that name? The name of the dude? I can't remember. I'm gonna remember in a second.
Nah, you crazy. I don't know what the fuck kind of shit you trying to put me on. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not with the coonery. I'm not with the buffoonery. Play them voice notes, love, because I'm not with the bullshit. Go ahead.
But why would Earth be the only thing that is flat? You know,
Because
because I
Earth
mean, you
isn't
can
round.
definitely buy a telescope and see that you can see Mars.
You can see
You can see
Mars and you can
Mars
see
from.
You have now tuned in with Kilo 7X. Forever, baby. Bringing you provocative talk 24/7 with my special guest today. And
I need some rest, need some space just for me. Oh, I feel it's time to understand what's in my head. I hold my breath just before everything starts to break.